Hey guys. So conversations with the spirit guide. I was talking with her, and I figured one thing that we should actually talk about is something that we disagree on. So a little bit of conversation. One of the big things that we have recently disagreed on, and this has been over time because we love playing the lottery. Um, it's silly, it is, but I can't help it. I really enjoy it. It's fun. I like gambling. Uh, Hi, sweetie. She feels like it shouldn't be used for things. It should be used for experiences. I agree. Completely agree. Completely agree. However, our experiences certainly vary. If we won the lottery, my first thing obviously would be to set aside money for the kids, especially Dean's autism stuff, because it is a lifelong condition. And heaven forbid something should happen to me, at least someone would be able to get him what he needs to get through his life. Um, not necessarily like a bajillion dollars, but even if we won 50 grand, okay, like each kid would get at least $10,000 in a trust or a savings account or something like that. And she's far more frivolous. Uh, we need a vehicle. We do very badly. So that would be obviously my next purchase. And when, like forever ago, a few months ago, when we did the other video, we were looking online because it's hard to find a vehicle that fits. Two dogs, two kids, me, and then two other adults. I mean, we're already up to seven, and really, eight would be better because then it could fit me, my sister, the folks, the kids, and the dogs, okay? Or whoever. And at that point, you're talking like a giant minivan, a party bus, or like I don't even know, like a Hummer, like huge, huge. We're talking large vehicles at this point. And while I really love the idea of large vehicle, I just don't. I don't see. I, I don't know. I don't see spending a lot of money on. Gracious, we're moving. Spending a lot of money on what my dad considers a depreciating asset, which, for whatever reason, has stuck in my craw my entire life. Sorry, I had to log off. And she says immediately, of course, she's like, you have to get the party bus. You have to get the party bus. How much fun would it be to drive a party bus everywhere? That would be the coolest thing ever. She's very, very adamant about the party bus situation. And I said, well, at that point, you might as well just get an RV if we're traveling, if we're talking about traveling, because I hate to fly. I don't like it. Just the idea of me and a metal tube with wings, it's not something I enjoy. She doesn't mind flying, Me, I do. So at that point, I'm like, well, we might as well just get one of those fancy RVs. You'd have to get a couple because they don't sleep very many people. I was like, and if we were going to travel, I mean, we might as well just like borrow a bus. Like that's what people do, right? You contract a bus or something like that. And she's like, no, no, no. We had always discussed if we won, we were going to do, what is it? The diner, drive-in, and whatever, the barbecue thing, right? And we had talked about moving. And I was like, man, I would love to go to Texas. Like, it's warm, right? They're cowboys. Dr. Pepper originated there. That's perfect. For her, forever now, she has been stuck in Colorado. And I'm like, what is it about Colorado? I've never been to Colorado. I haven't been to Colorado. I was like, if you want somewhere, let's just go to North Carolina. I love North Carolina. You have the beach and you have the mountains. Like, what? That's perfect. That is everything I love in one state without the snow. Really, yes. Well, they get snow in the mountains, but it doesn't get too cold. And she's like, well, what about the family that lives in Florida? I'm like, well, I'm not moving to Florida. Sorry, not doing it. No. But Colorado, she is stuck on Colorado. She insists there are cowboys there. That's fine. Not my thing. Not my thing. So we were like, all right, we at that point, if you win a bajillion $1 million, you can have more than one house. We'll compromise, right? And I was like, all right, so what do we do? What kind of fun adventures do you want to do? And she's like, oh, we got to go see the castles in Scotland. And I'm like, that requires a lot of flying. A lot of flying. And she's like, well, we don't have to take everybody. Like, I love you. I do. I love you very much. But that, you know, there's a lot that I want to do before I get to that point of traveling. I'd like the kids to be old enough to remember it and enjoy it, especially for going overseas to, like, you know, iconic places. That's something I want them to have, instead of showing them a video of, oh, we went to Scotland. You don't remember it. Here's a video of us doing things in Scotland. Like, that's not fun for me. And I told her, one of the big things is I always wanted to set up a charity. You know, I'm big on that. I am. And she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, you know, kids, dogs, and sick people. That's my thing. She's like, okay, well, we could give scholarships. And I'm like, I like scholarships. That'd be cool. You know, really freak everybody out. Have them, like, arrive to, like, the office place and be like, oh, you know, their meeting's running late. And, like, I would pretend to be the secretary and be like, well, let's just, you know, I'll give you a tour of the office or whatever and talk to them, you know, and find out more about them. And then be like, congratulations, you got scholarship, you know? Or, oh, you know what, we'll call you back, you know. So, yeah, what do they call it? The undercover boss. I always kind of wanted to do that. You know, kids, anything for kids. You know, probably charity for single mothers, you know. Respite care, hospice stuff. I mean, there's all this stuff. And she was like, well, what about our Professor Y dream? That was always our big thing. I was going to start the mentor school for kids that were talented. And I was like, you know, I always wanted to do that, but realistically, that's a lifetime investment. Like, to me, it really is. If I was going to do that, I would give my all. And she's like, yeah, and and I'm like, well, I want to be involved. I want to do stuff. I want to teach. I want to go to classes with people. I want to get to know the kids. And she's like, and I'm like, well, that is time away from other things. And she's like, no, you don't understand. If you had the money to do that, you could pay people to do the other things. She's like, you won't have to clean your house. She's like, you won't have to cook if you don't want to. But for me, like, those are the things that ground me and keep me remembering, you know, doing laundry a bajillion times a week with kids. Like, that keeps me grounded and normal. And she's like, maybe you're not supposed to be normal. If you win a bajillion $1 million, you're supposed to do something more with it. And I was like, well, how about we compromise? We compromise a lot, by the way. I was like, you know, my other dream was I want to do a Lily Dale somewhere else. I was like, maybe we go to Colorado and we get just a whole bunch of land and we start building, you know, our own version of Lilydale. And she's like, well, we can't call it Lilydale. What would we call it? I'm like, I don't know. Pick a flower and add Dale at the end. And she's like, that's so copycatting. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I tell you what, let's win the lottery. Then we can argue about names. But that's very much her personality. If you have a dream, she wants you to solidify it in order to make it a reality. That's the whole manifestation. That's the word I was looking for, manifestation stuff. So those are certainly the things that we disagree on. She is adamant about the silly things. She is very into having fun, being outrageously joyful. So when we were joking about designing a house, right? She was like, we have to put slides in. I'm like, why would we have slides in a house? She's like, why wouldn't you have slides in a house? If you could design your own home, why wouldn't you put slides in your house? And I was like, well, first off, the dogs. I'm like, I could see that going terribly wrong. I was like, what if someone hurts themselves? She's like, well, pay for them to get better. And I'm like, okay, you know, ruining all my arguments with money. Like, she wants to do joyful stuff. And I love that about her, you know. She's like, we could imagine the parties we could throw. Not like blingy parties, but bouncy house party. Like, she loves bouncy houses, you know, because everyone always smiles around bouncy houses. You cannot be sad in the middle of a bouncy house. You can't. Like, I think it is physically impossible to be sad and bouncing in a bouncy house, you know. So she wants the kids to have all of the fun stuff that kids should have at one point or another, but, you know, like, all the time. She's laughing at me. Yeah. What else did we talk about? We talked about the cars, talked about the house, talked about travel, talked about the foundation. The homestead. That was always my big thing, was if we didn't win, like, say we didn't win, like, I don't know, 2 million, okay, you know, 1 million will go to the kids, or like, I don't even, whatever. A portion of it will go to the kids, and I want to have a homestead, you know, something, raising farm animals, do my own gardening. I'm not big. We wouldn't buy a mansion. No, we would probably build like a hotel and like the family get together place, and then like, I don't know, houses. Like I don't like mansions. First off, I don't like the dust. Whoever wants that much room isn't taking care of it. I want something that I feel comfortable taking care of. So yeah, the homestead. Like, I love log cabins. Be super cool. Have a log cabin and like a lake. And we could like put fish in and, you know, fish. I like to fish. I don't necessarily like to catch fish. I like to fish. Does that make sense? Okay. And you know, I just have a few, nothing huge, nothing like to make a lot of money off of, enough to subsist us, get some solar panels up, you know, try the off-grid stuff, you know, that sort of thing. That would make me outrageously joyful. Yeah, that would be my thing. That would make me happy. What else? You know, and the normal stuff, you know, pay off my parents' mortgage, help out some friends. Oh, you're right. The one thing that we always joked about for forever ago, our paranormal group, BPI, Baltimore Paranormal Investigators, we had always said if one of us won the lottery, that we would buy like a haunted location and basically make a living off of it, like Waverly Hills, West Virginia Penitentiary. You can come and you pay to visit and investigate. Sometimes there's overnight, but you know, you have a site, you clean it up basically, and then you let people do their thing, which is awesome. That's a dream job for very much the founders of that organization. And the one location that the one founder, Aaron, had always been very passionate about, was torn down 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was local to where we are. So that was a big heartbreak for a lot of members of our group. We you know, got our starts practicing there, basically. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it. No, that's not it. That's not it either. You're not helping. So we would have to probably find something else. But at that point, sure. Find other like-minded homesteaders, have them help out. You know, that'd be cool. That'd be super cool. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I would go big or go home sort of thing. Be like, blah, I won a lottery. No, I don't think so. Because I wouldn't keep the money for me. I would put it into a foundation or a family trust or something like that. Because, my gosh, the story of the gentleman in Georgia that won, like, he didn't even win that much. I think he won like 40 grand. And was helping his mother and gave most of it to his mother to pay for her house and fix up her house and her medical stuff. And somebody literally beat them up in order to attempt to steal the money. Well, that much money is not going to be cash, like, ever these days. Who does that? Nobody does that. But, you know, terrible people do crappy things, so it is what it is. So no, even if I win, it won't be mine for long. Will I rub it? She's like, will you rub it in your ex's face? I said, no, I'll move. Even better. I'll move. That would lighten a worry load very much. I don't need to. He screwed up his life enough. I don't need to help with it. Keep the drama for your mama, right? But, yeah, she completely agrees. What is it? What is the one way to get over your ex? Live a better life. That's her thing. Live a better life. Be happy. Be happy without them. Let them see you being happy without them and move on. That's life. Speaking of, I have to get to a class. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.